Welcome to Facebook Live, Friday at 1:30. Today we're going to be talking about how to prevent injury like an Olympian. Right now we have long track speed skating Olympic trials happening right here in Milwaukee. A few weeks back we had short track speed skating. This has been kind of important for us here at the office because we do have several of our athletes are actually competing for Olympic spots. So we'd like to wish those good luck that are still going to try to vie for their spots. But one of the things that a lot of times people don't realize is that those Olympic athletes spend a lot of time and energy making sure that they maintain their bodies because of the loads that they put themselves under. That being said, there's a lot of stuff that you can do too, whether you're a weekend warrior just going out to play golf, or whether you're very active and you have a specific sport that you're training for something. There's a lot of things that you can do to help prevent injury and make sure that you keep yourself as healthy as possible. Four main things kind of come to mind, and we'll talk about each of them. The first thing is called periodization of training. We'll talk about what that means. The second one is self-care and making sure that they're kind of taking care of their bodies appropriately through some hands-on techniques. The third one is going to be through lifestyle management, making sure that they're getting adequate sleep, rest, nutrition, so on and so forth. And the fourth one is professional care. So when you talk about periodization of training is basically where you can't go hard all the time. Your body needs rest and recovery, and you need to be able to work different, what we call energy systems. So sometimes your body has to be able to burn fat, sometimes it has to be able to burn sugars in your blood, and it depends on if you're working at a very high heart rate, a very low heart rate, if you're lifting heavy weights, what type of activity you're doing. So in periodization of training, they are very specifically laying out training modules where for a set period of time, they're working strength. For a set period of time, they might work power. For a set period of time, they're doing recovery. For a set period of time, they're working toward, if they're an endurance athlete, they're working toward cardiovascular fitness. So there are periods of training where they're working towards specific goals, and then periods where they back those goals off or change goals so that their body's working through different energy systems and different modalities to kind of keep them healthy. You can't go hard all the time, so setting your own program up in ways where you push hard for a little while and then you get recovery and you work those different things is really important. If you need guidance with that, it's important to seek professional help, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. The second thing that they do is a lot of self-care. Most of these athletes spend a lot of time before they start their workouts doing foam rolling, tissue work, mobilization, activation drills, different things that are going to be specific to them and specific to their sport to make sure that their tissues are ready to put up with loads. They also spend a significant amount of time after their workout, not only cooling down, but again, going through specific mobilizations, self-tissue treatments, recovery treatments to try to make sure that their bodies are as prepared as possible for the workload and then also get the recovery that they need after the workload. Again, those are going to be individualized by sport, and they're going to be individualized by person, so a lot of times you have to seek some professional guidance to get the details that you need for that, but coming up with a good self-care routine is absolutely important to maintaining injury prevention. The third one is kind of quick, but it's not only obvious, it's also probably one of the most difficult to do, but it's lifestyle changes. If you're not getting adequate sleep, if you're not getting adequate nutrition, if you're putting garbage in your body, you're not going to get a good product out. So these athletes are going to be very, very strict about what they're eating, when they're eating, if they're getting enough calories, proteins, carbs, fats. They're all very important. They're going to be eating clean. They're going to be going to bed at a reasonable time, getting up at a reasonable time. Not to say that they can't cheat or have a late night out with friends, but they're going to be very specific about their training regimens and making sure that their lifestyle fits what their goals are. And finally, number 4 is getting professional help. The reason that this is important is to make sure that you have an individualized program for you and that you're treating things early. Most of these athletes, if they're training at an Olympic training center, they have a team of staff right there that can take care of a lot of issues. A lot of these athletes seek out professionals in the community that have specific tools, specific techniques, or specific knowledge bases that can help them achieve their goals and keep them healthy. For you at home, the reason this is important is the earlier you get to an injury, when it's an ache or pain, we can treat it so much faster than if you wait for it to be a major issue. So treating things early and finding guidance to get a program set up that is individualized to you, to your sport, or to your goals is really important. Now that may be through healthcare providers, that may be through strength and conditioning coaches, that may be through technique coaches, whether it's a golf coach or a tennis coach that can watch your technique of your sport. But seeking professional help and expertise is also very important in making sure you have a good plan. Join us next Friday as we talk about some other topics. Again, Fridays at 1:30. Thanks for joining us for Facebook Live.